So anyway, at this meeting, I met up with Dave, who was one of the NORAD intelligence officers, and I developed a lifelong friendship with this gentleman. And I met him on several other occasions, and I also discussed the situations about UFOs on many other occasions. And he told me of many things that really was never made public, and it only indicates that the public has no idea of the reality dealing with the alien phenomena.
Mm-hmm. And Dave, that wasn't his real name, was it?
No. He wanted, he put a certain amount of trust and confidence in me that whatever he gave me in confidence would be respected, and I've always respected that. And no, he wanted to maintain anonymity. And
so did Dave ever tell you who these aliens were, where they were from, and most importantly, why they were here?
Well, he had some idea about the Berties.
Now the Berties?
The Berties were the Greys.
Okay. Is that the star system they're from?
Yeah.
Okay.
And he had been to Area 51 with two other NORAD officers. So he had heard all about the Berties. He knew about them. But the other ones he didn't, like the Palladians and so forth. He had no idea about that. So years later, when he retired and I retired from the Air Force, we were left with the same questions we had when we first joined the Air Force. Who were they? Where were they from? Are they a threat? All this sort of thing. And so that's where it was at.
So I understand that in desperation you turned to Einstein's wise maxim, no problem can ever be solved by the consciousness that created it.
Right on. Yes, indeed. Because obviously the alien spacecraft did not conform to our third dimension laws. They appeared and disappeared instantly, all this sort of thing. So I was talking to a very spiritual person who told me, he says, yes, you'll only get your answers in a higher dimension, like in the fourth dimension. The Akashic Records contains all of the information that happens in the universe. Every thought, all the energies of every thought, every word, and every action that is done is recorded in the Akashic Records. Now, more sophisticated, more older souls, I suppose, can read the Akashic Records and can interpret them, and that's important. And she suggested that I do this. I contact the Transgender group through a channeler, because they have no voice box. So I can contact them through a channeler, Rick Thurston, who is reputable in the world, has worldwide, recognized worldwide as a channeler. And I did. I hesitated, mind you, for several months, because this was such a challenge to me. You know, I was raised with the basic Christian beliefs, and when you're dead, you're dead. You might be strumming a harp, but you know, you're not talking to people after that. So it was quite an ordeal for me, but I was so desperate for information that I finally agreed to, and over a period of the last 10, 11 years, I've communicated with the Transgender group, and all of their information that I got from them is included in this book, Challenges of Change.
So the obvious question is, who are the Transcenders?
Now, the Transgender consists of 43,000 ancient souls who blend all of their experience and their knowledge to provide advice and information to other souls who are on, you know, existing in the universe. Now, since the spiritual entities, these Transcenders, have no voice box, they communicate by thought through the channeler's voice box. And that's the way they do it. Now, the soul at the subconscious level is non-separate. That is fact. It's not a state of awareness, but that is the fact. So, it depends upon the development of the soul, of course, but it is a reality. So, but the channeler is totally unaware of the dialogue that I have with the Transcenders, because he is in a comatose state. So he has no idea of that. Now, in the words of Pope John, and in regards to that spiritual reality, Pope John Paul II said about 2 years before he died, is that there is no heaven, or rather he put it in these words, heaven and hell do not exist as places. That's a monumental statement for the Pope to make. He said it is a state of mind. Finally, that reality that is there, and as we go along, I suppose, is that we'll become more and more aware of it as the church opens up and tells the people the truth of the matter.
One of the central themes of your book utilizes the four horsemen of the apocalypse, symbolically, of course, metaphorically, of course. Could you elaborate a bit more on that?
Yeah, the Transcenders, we have discussed this on many occasions, and they reveal that in symbolic terms of the four horsemen, the apocalypse, all this is taking place now. There's the earth changes, earthquakes, tsunamis, all this sort of thing. There's the environmental crisis, carbon dioxide pollution, what's happening down the Gulf of Mexico, and this whole thing. And then there's the international terrorism. And then fourth is that there is the collapse of financial and economic collapse of all the nations throughout the world. Those, in symbolic terms, those are the four horsemen. Now, we are not going to die. Mankind will survive earth changes and will survive international terrorism, but we will not survive the pollution of our atmosphere with carbon dioxide pollution, because right now it's at 9%. It's increasing at 1% annually, and the critical mass in which we could not survive is 22%. So you figure. So we're facing some pretty serious challenges.
Yeah, that's a very grim scenario. Basically you're elaborating on an extinction level event. Now, it seems to me that we're not going to survive this event without outside alien intervention. Are the aliens going to help us in this situation?
Yes, that is their intent. Now, but they are also aware that their sudden interaction with mankind will cause a great deal of fear and panic, like Orson Welles' program on the War of the Worlds did in 1938. So the aliens will reveal themselves in a massive UFO display over our principal cities as the first step. They won't land, but they will do so. And I predict that will happen on October 13, 2010, in about 4 months' time from now. That's a major step for me to take, because I'm putting my credibility and my book on the line about this. I'm so sure that this is going to happen. It may not happen on October 13th. It may happen in November, December. It'll happen this year. However, they won't land this year, but that will come later. But it is a first step in our future relationship with the alien reality, and then our world will have changed forever.
Thank you very much, Dan.